Major G. So, I just finished watching the mid-season premiere of Gotham, and holy crap, yeah, it was pretty freaking good. One of the things I like about Gotham is how uh, how it's kind of wow, I lost my train of thought. One of the things I like about Gotham is how it's making things. It brings in all these elements of the world we already know. So we Penguin's now in Arkham, and one of the interesting things about Arkham is that at this time Arkham is filled with all sorts of traditionally crazy inmates, and traditionally in that they're all kind of wacky, stereotypical crazy, jumping off the walls, that kind of thing. Um, whereas in the Arkham we are more familiar with does have some of those people, but they're more criminally insane. They're more dangerous, I should say. Whereas these guys feel kind of harmless almost, except for our regular villains. And so now we have Penguin being put in Arkham, and they kind of poke fun at him because he's not as in charge as he thinks he is. And can I just say, I love BD Wong as Doctor Strange. He is just taken this role and he's just taken the comic and just turned it into reality. Like, oh my god, he is so utterly creepy and genius and kind of demented almost. Like, you can feel the craziness underneath. He's just so good as Doctor Strange, and it's just real. He's just so good at it. I think this is probably my favorite role that I've seen him in. And I've seen him in quite a few. I most know him from SVU, and he was in Banshee last season. He was in Jurassic Park, of course, and a few other things. But this is probably going to top. For me, this is probably going to top my list of his favorite roles as Hugo Strange. And yeah, he's just killing it. So now that we know that he's doing some kind of weird experiments with not only the inmates but just other science experiments, which I don't remember if he was actually doing in the comics, like actual science experiments. We all knew that he was doing these kind of mental experiments on patients, like kind of almost mentally torturing them. Like, he is one of the few people who has actually figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman just by like talking to him. He's just like, oh yeah, you're Batman. this subject must actually be the Batman, and for whatever reason he keeps it to himself in the comics. But that's beside the point. But yeah, BD Wong is just killing it. And what else can I say? Let's see. So Penguin is in. Oh yeah, and his boy Butch. Butch is getting some from old boy's adoptive sister or whatever, or girlfriend or whatever their relationship was. And she's gonna try and become the queen of Gotham, I guess. And based on their relationship, it seems like she's the one who's more in control. I mean, she is kind of like Dommy and all that stuff. Like, she's kind of Domish. That's what I meant. She's kind of like a dominatrix-ish. And what else? Oh, Victor Fries. That's right, of course. Obviously, I knew there was something I was missing. We met Victor Fries. Now, by the time Batman starts, he had already been trying to work on this the disease for his wife Nora. So at this point, we meet Victor, and we meet his wife, and they're both still up and about. And this is before he's obviously gotten subjected to his own cold experiment, and this is probably the first truly strange supervillain from the Batman world that we've met. Like the others that we've met have just kind of been the more realistic ones, like Riddler and Hugo Strange and Penguin, obviously, and some of the Maroni family. So we've already met some of those guys, and they're the like kind of regular, and then the regular kind of people that are more realistic. And I'm pretty sure we're probably going to come across ventriloquist at some point, because they are just throwing out some interesting Batman people out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point the ventriloquist comes into play. But now we get into the truly weird villains. Victor Freeze is going to be the first one. I wonder if we're going to run into Man-Bat or Killer Croc. One of those guys. That would be interesting. And I think we've seen the beginning. I think we've seen the beginning of Firefly. This girl is probably going to be the beginning of Firefly, which would probably be interesting. And we'll see how she ends up becoming that. But yeah, Victor Freeze. We're starting the story of Victor Freeze now, and it ended with him going to rescue his wife from the police station. And we've seen how she's reacted and how Jim's reacted to this, and no one seemed to believe him. So the next episode should be pretty interesting to see what he actually does to come in. Like I expect he's probably just gonna do what he did at the pharmacy, which is come in and just start waving his gun and just start freezing everybody and demand to see Jim Gordon, which is funny. And it's funny, I find it funny, and it's so Gotham, that the actual man himself comes to the police station to turn himself in, and they're just like, yeah, no, sit with these other crackpots, rather than, actually talking to him, because he's the only one there who actually seemed credible, and the other guys just look kind of wacky. So yeah, I guess he got kind of fed up for that, and taking the credit for his work. And that's right. By the time Batman starts, it's apparently he had already discovered the cure for the way to get her out of her frozen state, but he was looking for the cure to her disease. That's why he kept her frozen. It makes sense that he wouldn't freeze her unless he knew how to take her out of the frozen state. So now we find out that he found the correct formula for unfreezing. Now the question is, in the whole process of him, because remember, the police collected a lot of his stuff. They probably collected all of his experiment, his solution, or not solutions, his notes and his formulas. That's the word I was looking for. So they've probably collected all of his formulas so that is he going to still have the formula for the proper formula for getting them out of their frozen state? So that's it for right now. And I'll try to keep this up. It's kind of difficult for me where I live to keep up with do reactions for shows that are actually running, because of the internet situation here. It's the best, and we don't really have TV. It's difficult to get TV stuff and all that, or TV shows and all that. So usually I don't even watch stuff until a day later, which is why this is late. I just actually sat down to watch this. All right, well, I will see you guys around, and until next time.